Hello everyone, myself Professor C.D. Kadhwani from K.K. Wagh Institute of Engineering Education and Research, Nashik, India. So in online course on rate analysis for different items of construction works, in video number 1 we have learned about the basic concepts of quantity surveying, estimating and costing. And similarly, we have seen introductory part of district schedule rates and state schedule rates. So let us learn in this video number 2 the introduction to rate analysis. So first we will see what are the objectives of rate analysis. So number 1, to determine the current rate per unit of an atom at the locality. Number 2, to examine the rates offered by contractors, to calculate the quantity of materials and labor strength for project planning, to fix up labor contract rates. Now these learning objectives are now divided into two parts. Part 1 is intellectual skills and part 2 is a motor skill. Intellectual skills mean the things which we understand and remember, and motor skills means after understanding the basic concepts or basic idea regarding rate analysis, and same ideas and concepts when used to find out rate analysis is called as a motor skills. So in intellectual skills, number 1 is to understand the concept of task work for various items of work. Now next intellectual skill is to interpret the various factors affecting the rate of atom, such as transportation charges, lead and lift of materials during execution. Let us look at the motor skills. Number 1, ability to calculate the materials required for execution of the atom. Next one is ability to calculate different labors involved in the execution of the atom. Ability to work out the rate of completed atom. Now let us learn about what is meant by analysis of rate. So let us look at the fundamental definition of or fundamental description of analysis of rate. The determination of rate per unit of particular atom of work from the cost of materials, cost of labor and other miscellaneous PT expenses required for its completion is known as the analysis of the rate. Now, what are the factors affecting rate or price of any works? There are many factors which are affecting rate of atom. Out of them, number 1 is material, number 2 is labor, number 3 plant, number 4 overheads, and in overheads there are two subheads or sub overheads. They are general overheads and job overheads, and last one is the profit. So whenever we will calculate the rate of an atom, so material cost, labor cost, plant charges, then overhead charges and profit, all these charges are to be added for getting rate of an atom. Now let us look at the factors affecting cost of materials. So these factors affecting cost of materials are quantity of material, quality of material, large quantities. If material is purchased in large quantities, we will get a material at cheaper rate, and if we purchase a material in small quantities, the cheaper rate will not be available for us. Then there are certain conditions of supply of material by supplier of different materials. So these conditions varies from location to location, and again these conditions supply depends on, so price of these materials are supplied at the site will depend on local taxes, local corporation taxes, state government and central government taxes, and the transportation charges. So let us learn about the factors affecting cost of labor. So there are also different factors which are affecting the cost of labor. Number 1 is output of different artisans or laborers. Number 2 is output of an individual artisan, varies day to day. Then site organization and management, site location, type of work. If the site organization and management is the best efficient, then cost of labor will be reduced. If output of labor is higher one, then again cost of labor will reduce. And if the work is simple one, then labor cost will be reduced. But if the location is a remote location and work is very complicated, where the workers or the laborers require protections, okay, safety equipment to carry out the work, in that situation the time required for complete the job will be more, and therefore it will be affecting cost of labor. Now let us learn about factors affecting cost of operating the plant. So cost of operating plants are divided into two. Number one is the standing charges. In standing charges, we have to take into account the depreciation of the plant, interest on capital outlay which is provided for the purchase of the plant, then maintenance and repairs of plant, and second is the running costs. In running costs, the fuel and lubricating oil required for the plant, operators wages, that is traveling allowances and dearness allowances paid to the operators, and the technical person related to operating the plant, and the transportation of the plant. So these are called as the running costs. So let us look at what are the overhead costs. So there are general overheads. So what are the general overheads? The establishment includes office and staff, stationery, printing and postage, traveling expenses, telephone, rent and taxes are included in general overheads. So there are some specific job overheads or job overhead expenses are there. So they are supervision charges, handling of material, repairs and carriage and depreciation, amenities of labor, insurance of workmen, interest on investment, losses on advances. These are job overheads. Similarly, at the end of rate analysis, we have to add contractor's profit as per the following guidelines. Generally, 10% profit is considered reasonable for ordinary contracts. For small jobs, 15% profit is considered, and for large jobs 8% profit is considered. On an average 10% profit is considered for every item of work. Now what are the data required for rate analysis, or what are the prior concepts required to be included for calculation of rate analysis? So number one is the current market rate of materials, current labor charges, task work or output of the laborers, or labor constants for different items of work as per the codes, different codes of the or individual codes of individual country. So labor constants for different items of works are published in the national code of every country, and these labor constants are utilized to find out number of laborers required for different items of work. Similarly, details of operation involved in carrying out the work. If for different items of work, operation involves are different, and therefore time required to complete that item will be different, and it will vary, and therefore work output for different atom will be again different, and therefore for different items of work, different number of labor, skilled, unskilled or semi-skilled laborers are required to perform the item efficiently. Similarly, higher charges of tools and plants and their outturn is also very important for calculation of rate analysis. So what are the new concepts to be studied while carrying out the rate analysis of items of work? Number one is a task work. Task work is the capacity of doing the work, or capacity of completion of atom in continuous 8 hours duty in a whole day. Similarly, in new concepts, material analysis is required, labor analysis. Then we must understand what is meant by lead and lift, and how lead and lifts are affecting the rate of atom. Similarly, transportation charges, how transportation charges are to be carried out, that should be learned while carrying out rate analysis. Tools and plant charges, how tools and plant charges vary from site to site and depending on type of atom. Then water charges and contractors profit. So let us at the end let us summarize what is mean by rate of atom, that is general concept structure. So cost of each atom of work is addition of cost of each charges as given below. So we have learned there are many charges, many costs which are to be added together to get rate of atom. So therefore rate of atom is equal to addition of material cost, labor cost, tools and plant charges, water charges, and contractor profits. So whenever we add all these material costs, labor costs, tools and plant charges, then water charges, then contractor profit together for a particular atom, that becomes the rate of that atom per unit quantity of that atom. So that is end of video lecture number 2. Thanks for watching this video. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.